Hi, my name's Terry, and I want to share with you my story. My story starts when I was 6 years old in 1992 in a tiny little town called Hawthorne, Nevada. I like to equate Hawthorne kind of like Radiator Springs from Cars, where the center blinking light is the highlight of the town. It's pretty much the same thing with this one. It was one evening near the end of summer, school isn't that far out to start, that my dad asked me to go find my brothers, bring them home for dinner. And I go outside and I'm listening for them, and I finally hear their voices coming from down the street. And as I get closer, I realize that they're in a carport. Well, as I get to the carport, I could hear them talking about something, and as I come around the corner, I happen to notice they were in the backside of the carport. What I didn't know is that they had also found a can of kerosene and filled a bowl with it, and they were trying to light it on fire. Well, they were finally successful, and I do want to say that this is simply just a case where curiosity outpaced understanding. Once the bowl was lit and then kicked, it hit me in the chest, and it wrapped around me like a wet blanket. I remember at first I could see through the flames. I thought everything else was on fire. I didn't realize I was the one that was on fire until the actual flames reached my skin. Now, immediate panic set in. I tried to stop, drop, and roll. I was running around. And again, it's in the middle of the desert in Nevada at the end of the summer, so it's extremely hot outside. And then all of a sudden, everything just went black. And I thought I died. But what really happened was my neighbor had just come home from camping. He saw the whole thing take place, and he grabbed his sleeping bag, and he ran to me, and he smothered the flames, which then knocked me to the ground. I remember coming to, because the pain was immense, and it was really starting to kick in. But then I heard my dad. I heard my dad screaming as he was running down the road. My dad used to wear these big glasses. Like, pretty big glasses, that's all I gotta say. But I could see my reflection in his glasses once he knelt before me, and I can see my skin rolling off. And that's when I knew everything had changed. Now, the ambulance had gotten there, they rushed me to the hospital. The facilities at this hospital most certainly were not equipped to handle my level of burns. I would be diagnosed at 70% of my body with third degree. And however, fate be have it that outside of this tiny little town there was an airport, and at that airport was a Learjet. Well, they were able to load me up on that Learjet almost immediately and fly me to Las Vegas burn ward, where I would actually get stabilized and get most of my initial treatment. After my time there, they actually moved me on to Shriners at Galveston, Texas, one of the best pediatric burn units in the world, and I'm very fortunate and lucky to have been able to be one of their patients, because if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would actually be here today. With that though, my life sounds like there's a lot of tragedy, but there's a lot of triumph too. I've actually become a firefighter. Did that for a couple years as a volunteer firefighter. I volunteer at summer camps now to work with burn children, because I went to summer camp as a kid, and I'll tell you what, some of those tools that I learned in that time frame are irreplaceable. I still use them to this day. I've also become an amazing artist. So with that, one of the things that I'm bringing this channel around for is to share some of my experiences in the hopes to inspire others. Because, we all walk through our own fires, and I definitely understand that every once in a while we can use some encouragement. If I can do that for you, fantastic. Give me a follow, and we'll go places.